Well, Darren, how does it feel at this point? Is it exciting? Is it just a relief to have got through pre-season and to be ready to go?
No, it feels great. It feels great. You get to the last week before the season starts, and I always feel that pre-season can drag on at that point. You just kind of get glad to get out of the way, and touch wood, we've come through it okay, not anything serious. And now we're looking. I can't wait. I'm really excited. What we did today and Tuesday. You know, you can feel the excitement coming because you know you're into the season starting, especially with the fans coming back. It's massive.
Yeah, I suppose in some respects it hasn't been the easiest pre-season, but then presumably that's been the case for virtually every club in that, okay, compared with last season, the COVID issues aren't as great, but they're still there, and it was always going to be a period that was a bit trickier.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if any team got through it smoothly, exactly how they wanted. There's been inconsistencies in team selections and people being available because not as normal with injuries, but the COVID situation. But it's something we have to live with and something we have to go on with. And obviously now, I think every manager would agree that they just want the season to start.
Yeah, looking at Luton, I think they've been in that position. Always tricky going into the first game, knowing exactly what to expect from the side.
I think it's a really good game for us in terms of some sort of a benchmark of what the league may look like. I think it's a very tough game because they're a team that have been together for a while. They've got real energy in their team, but not only that, they've got a small, tight little ground that's going to be packed. So we've got to make sure that we look after the early part of the game if we can. So yeah, it's going to be a tough match, but one we're looking forward to and one we feel that we can do well in if we do certain things right.
What do you make of what Luton have done in the transfer window? Seems to be quite a nice mix of youth and experience they've had come in.
Yeah, I think they've definitely done that. You know, they brought in Lansbury, more experience. Jerome from Milton Keynes, a bit more experience. Young boy from Scotland who I know is a good player. Amari Bell, a bit of experience as well. And then they brought Gomez in, who's a bit younger from Morecambe. So, you know, and one or two others that I can't remember. So their recruitment's been strong. I think this is a third year now in the league, so they know the league well. And like I say, whenever you go to Luton, it's always a tough match, and we expect that they're strong at home. You know.
You mentioned the atmosphere, of course, with fans back as well. That added extra level. Is there a sense of just having to be a little bit careful early in the game and not getting overexcited?
Yeah, you don't want to get caught. You want to play the game and not the occasion, and there's going to be that. It's not normal because even in the first game of the season there's going to be that excitement, that nervous energy, that anticipation that you've been waiting for. But this year even more than any, because there's been no fans, you know, we have to make sure we play with composure and be calm in what we're doing. That's going to be really important. That's something that we're really going to stress to the players. But it's going to be a great atmosphere, you have to say, and you know, we will be talking to the players strongly about the fact that, look, these fans have waited so long to see us, and we're going to have over 1,000 there. We sold out quick. I knew that we would. So it's good that we have a performance for them.
Yeah, it's a funny scenario, isn't it, where you have someone like I don't know, a Johnson coming in last season, having a great season, but actually in the flesh, posh fans have barely seen him, and it's great for them now to be able to make that connection.
Yeah, that was the one disappointment from the promotion season, that the fans weren't there. But I'm sure come Saturday, you know, when you walk across, because the way that Luton is, you walk across the pitch and the fans are there, it'll be fantastic. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm sure they'll give the players a really good reception that they deserve, and then hopefully we get a performance, like I say.
Yeah, and as you've said before, what a fantastic reward for the opening day. That, okay, the fans to a degree missed out on the celebrations around the promotion, but here it is underlined, fans are back, and you're at championship level. That in itself is really nice.
Yeah, that was a big motivation last season. Something that we spoke about a lot. Look, there's no fans this season, but let's try and make sure that when they do come back, we're in the championship, and we've done that. Now we want to establish ourselves in the championship. This season is not a case of just surviving. We feel that we want to compete in every game and see where it takes us. We've recruited good players. We've recruited a very good blend of a bit more experience in terms of Jack Marriott and, you know, I wouldn't say experience in age so much, but in terms of games, George Grant, Josh Knight, Dye, and then you added to the ones, we've brought in the 3 younger ones, Tomlinson, Poco, and now Joel. I'm delighted with the recruitment we've done. We'll still probably add one or two now, maybe more.
Yeah, and those 3, I guess we could put into the bracket of almost typical Posh signings, something you've done a lot in the past, and certainly in the case of Joel, quite a big outlay with the transfer fee, but it makes it really exciting, doesn't it, to have, I guess, 3 players that you consider to be 3 of the best young players available, really.
Well, that's how we've looked at it. We feel they are, without putting too much pressure on them. They're only young, and we've got to be mindful of that, but I think that's what we've looked at, and the chairman and I have been very strong. The owners have backed that situation and that philosophy. And not only that, they're not just ones that will come in and maybe wait a bit. They can go straight in. I have every confidence. I have no hesitation in putting them in at all. And added to that, we've got to remember the ones that we've already got that have come through. And Manny, I know he's not come through, but he's signed. But then you've got like H, Ricky. We've still got a real batch of our own young players, if you want to call them that. So yeah, we're healthy in that department. There's no doubt.
Yeah, and it hedges you quite nicely as well as to what may or may not happen over the remainder of the transfer window. You're now in a position where it's a bit more flexible for you because you've managed to get bodies in. Yeah,
and like I say, we probably still want to add a midfield player. I'll then have to address the squad size in terms of we may look at loaning 1 or 2 of the younger ones out, because if we got another one in, the number will be quite high. So that'll be addressed next week after the weekend. But no, we're in a good place, I feel.
With the team selection for the weekend, is anybody ruled out at this stage? I know we've got a lack of minutes for 1 or 2, but is anyone ruled out?
There's a lack of minutes for 1 or 2, there's no doubt about that, which is never ideal, but again, as I just explained, it's not an ideal situation. There's no one at the moment ruled out in terms of they're definitely not going to be available. We feel Jono's come through the game on Tuesday very well. We feel Jack, with the week of training, is looking good, Jack Marriott. Jack Taylor and Sariki Dembele have still got chances to be fit. So yeah, we'll address them tomorrow and look at them. And they haven't missed much time, so it wouldn't be an issue if they just, they took a part today and tomorrow any reaction, and we'll see.
Yeah, with Johnson and with Jack, you've basically, I know Jono picked up the knee injury more recently, but that's been something you've managed right the way through pre-season. With the other 2, a bit more recent, and I think, as you said the other day, the call is always going to be balancing what you want to do at the weekend versus the rest of the season.
Yeah, all we're looking to do at the weekend is get a good start to the season. You're not going to win anything or lose anything at Luton Town. And, my experience tells me that it's a long season. I'm never going to risk anyone for an injury, no matter who they are, unless it's a game like a Lincoln game, if you know what I mean, last season. So, no, there'll be no risk taken on Saturday, none at all. There won't be in the season. We have to make sure that we cut out as many muscle injuries as we can. You're going to get injuries in games, knocks and stuff like that. That's part and parcel of it. But my job with the coaches and the fitness guys is to make sure that we take no risks, regardless who the player is.
Just to confirm on Sariki, what injuries he actually got?
He's been carrying it for a while, but it flares up now and again. The hard pitches, he's got a bit of a problem with his Achilles and tendonitis in there, but the hard pitches don't help. So he's been a bit stop-start. So, listen, it's nothing serious. You would have to say he's got a right chance, I have to be honest.
Yeah, and with Jack, presumably having had the scan, the best news was it doesn't seem to have played in too much to what's happened before?
No, with Jack, it was clear, and a little bit of inflammation in there, but nothing that we were worried about, certainly. And again, he's played a lot of minutes. We've rested him up this week, which might be the best thing for him, and then we'll see how he is tomorrow.
Is it a case of Ethan or Josh coming in if he's unavailable, or would you be maybe looking at some of the youngsters? Is it quite open in there?
No, I think it's, the natural ones would be the 3 that you'd look at are Ethan, Josh and Kyle Barker, depending on how we play. If we play 3 midfielders, central ones, then you would have to look at that slightly different. But no, I think if Jack wasn't fit, I know in my mind what I'm going to do.
Yeah, and presumably, well, the last time you were in the Championship a decade ago, actually very effective switching between back four and back three. Did it last season. Presumably then for this season, very much uppermost in your mind to do something similar, to have that flexibility?
Yeah, very much so. We probably have another one as well that we've looked at. So we'll be very flexible in the team I pick, if we can be. And that's always important. Even in the Portsmouth game last week, which we know we didn't play well, but the best period we had was when we went from a 4 to a 5 or a 3, whatever you want to call it, and we got control of the game. And sometimes, I feel in particular Saturday, I feel the opening period of the game will be very hectic. We need to find a way of getting control, and it may be going from a 3 to a 4 or a 4 to a 3.